What's up, everybody? We're in Thrill of the Fight 2. I've searched far and wide for videos, tutorials on how to do this properly because it is a far cry different than Thrill of the Fight 1. Alright, so Thrill of the Fight 1, it's people say it's more satisfying, but it's only AI. So when you're connecting, you do get that satisfaction, especially when you throw off and you feel the vibration of the controller and everything, and it's good. But this is more of an accurate based system, so it rewards you for form. So it rewards you for coming straight and using your rotation of your hips. So whatever your predominant foot's forward, if you're southpaw, your right arm, if you're southpaw, your right arm will be out, and if you're orthodox, then your left arm will be out. I switch between both. And I use an open space, so it rewards you for form and rotation. So you don't want to just come out swinging. It'll just tap them. It won't even do damage, which we're going to demonstrate over there, the different punches that I use. But before you get started in that, and nobody has talked about this, they've made light mentions to it. Calibrate. I fought my first 5 unranked fights and was losing the first 4, and I was like, why? I'm connecting, but I wasn't doing no damage. And I was wondering why I was coming out, my arms were looking like this. Even though you calibrate in the beginning for height, some people try to glitch height and they stand on things to get it taller. You want your arm length and your thing, and to do that, you hit the start button, you agree to you look forward, and you choose your room scale. But now go to calibration again and do your height again. Alright, and you check to make sure it says 6'1". Okay, that's about right. Now your arm length, this is very important. I didn't do this when I first started, so my arm was only registering, like, I wasn't getting the full reach, because that reach right there, you should, to get what I'm saying? So calibrate your arm length. Put the controllers in your hands the proper way you would punch. Extend your hands, see how far you would go. Now calibrate. Put the hands straight out. And now you have your arms. Before, they were here. So when I was swinging, my real punches were up here behind their head, and in reality, this is, you get what I'm saying? So like, it was throwing me off. So make sure you calibrate properly, so that way you got that reach. If you're a taller person, kind of like me, well, I'm not tall, but I'm 6'1", that's pretty good. 72 span about, but you want that in this game, especially fighting real opponents. You're not fighting AI, you're fighting real deal people from across the world, depending on your connection. And another thing that people don't talk about, I've only seen in one other video, is the delay between fighters. And when you throw this punch, where their face or their hitbox or their chest hitbox is going to be. If you have a bad connection, or they do, they could be over here and you could be still punching here thinking this is them. Say this is the hitbox for the face that you're punching at. If they're moving in this direction and you punch this, you're going to punch the back of their head, and it's not going to do much damage because you're going to be like an inch or two off. So try, if you have a bad connection, or if you notice it glitching a lot, because this is early access, this isn't the full game, this is strictly multiplayer, skill against skill, style against style. So you want to punch, if you're having that issue and they're moving this direction, punch just an inch in front of their face. It might not seem like you're making damage because you don't get that satisfaction of the thum, thum, but if you throw pieces, body, head, head, switch it up, it will do more damage for people, and you will start winning and KOing more people if you have legitimate boxing skill. So let's go to the training dummy real quick. Now when you first get over here, this is unchecked. This is the new Damage V3 system that they get used during the rounds. And you have this training dummy. You have your hitbox here. Now you got your livers and kidneys, you got your sternum, you got your solar plexus. It won't do damage or register damage in the shoulders as much, maybe 0.2, 0.3. Now standard touch, 1 damage, 2 damage. Just a normal 6. So up here, let's see if there's a difference from. Now let's go to the top. Alright, now this is a strategy that I use. Angle your knuckles down. When you punch in real life, you don't punch like this. And your controllers naturally have an up tilt to it. So when you're punching your straights, you're actually bending your hands back. In reality, you'll break your hand like that. Especially if you're coming into somebody and they're moving, you'll break your hand. So, and you don't want it too far down because the same thing. You're not going to do as much. But you do want your knuckles to go right in the jawline, right where the hairline would be. That's knockout. Up here, not so much right there. Right there, downward knuckle. So look at the difference if I hit this way. 14, 11, 14. Now, angle your knuckle. It's like double. Now if you give it power, 20, 30, 22, all right? 40, 45, 40, okay? Well, so let's try punches to the shoulders. Nothing. So you don't, if you're swinging away and you're doing this, you're not doing nothing. You want straights and you want to follow through. So when you punch, oh, so this is old damage. Let's go to the new version that they're using in the ring. And you can tell a difference here. This is a difference. Listen to the sound. Okay, 41. Now listen to this one. You hear the boom. And it's 50s. That's knockout or stunner. Like 60s is knockout. Now a lot of people try to just do this and they pull their punches or they turn their hands, they get to doing this. It's not doing much. You want to, if you're rotating, you want to rotate in, but you want to rotate knuckles. So, and you want to follow through. You don't want to, I mean, I guess you could do that if you're a counter puncher. If they're coming at you and you got to duck under or whatever. I mean, you can get 30s. But I'd say follow through and always try to rotate those knuckles in. So if your chin, if you're going for a hook, don't come across like this. Come across like this. So, you know, and don't telegraph it. So hit, come across. If you just come out swinging like this, yeah, you're gonna glitch and you might do that, but that ain't fun. If you really want to box, box. Unless you just want to have fun, do it however you want. But these are my tips to get more damage when you punch. See? And I'm not even punching hard. I'm not wasting any energy. You'll do more damage piecing them out like than, look at it. Look, that's not doing nothing. And you look silly. While you're doing that, people are just, and they're piecing you out. And then you get the kids that are frustrated and they're like, and you're just like, you try to give them a chance, but ultimately here you're here to get your record up. So these are my tips And I see people talking about the velocity and the damage and how to do this and that. But nobody says calibrate your arms to the length that they're supposed to be so you know your reach. So you know that's 0 point. That's 0 point energy right there. So now I know where my foot's at. So when I'm punching people, I'm not just gonna start doing this right away. That's like 4 or 5 punch energy wasted by the time you get in there. Easier said than done when you're under fire. I get that. But as you progress and you work on these fundamentals, you will get better at stepping in, knowing your range, knowing where your 0 point is at. Well, that's not quite 0, but pretty much. I mean, I'm just touching them, kissing them. So know where your punches are going to land. And if they're moving, you know where to hit boxes at. Now, see, we talked about shoulders. Let's talk about ribs. When you come in on ribs, you can come in with the uppercuts. You can come in with the jabs or the crosses in, or sometimes you can come in with a and then pop out, surprise them with a hook or a finisher shot. Sometimes you can come in from the side, kiss them, and come all the way across and just come back around. So that's a strategy. If you got an area like mine, you can, especially if you got them on the run, you can just, 60, that's knockout. So come in, kiss, and hit, and then when you come around, back out, maybe get your footing again. Don't try to just start swinging a while. Know your 0 point area. Know where your 0 point area. So I know in my area where the hitbox is at and where to push through at. Now, if you go in too far and you overcommit and you push through, you're gonna lock up, and you can utilize some of this stuff, like grab them, kind of wear them out, come up with some crosses. Wish we could use elbows. Wait, you do damage? No. Okay, and punching in the back of the head. One. I think that's more me touching this. Yeah. No, you're not going to do damage there. You can get some damage back in the back here. Let's see. Ooh. That might be a knockout point. So if you can come up. Come back across the ear. So. Well, I touched him. Let's try this other one with my right, my left. 42. Okay, so let's test that on the jaw coming around. 44. Behind the ear, 46. 41. All right, now let's try power punches. The one-hitter knocker outs, the ones that you do the overhands, that you set up with the jabs. So like you got somebody, whatever's done. So when you draw back, don't come at them like this. They see you winding up a mile away. And if it's me, I'm just ducking out of it or back, because I always have my back foot planted. And I'm always ready to dip out or move in either direction. You want a triangle. So this is your bubble here, and behind them is their weak point. Ultimate goal is to defend your box. And angles is how you're going to use it sometimes against some of these people. Sorry about the sniffling. I get like that when I get sweaty. I'm not really sweaty, I'm not out of breath. So, back to the basics. So we've tested all this. Let's try neck. Huh? Yeah, but you're not going to get as much damage as a flush. And remember, like that. Not like that. Not like that. Not like that. That. So, you want to remember that jawline right there. See, now when you punch in the nose, it doesn't, yeah, because it wants to bounce off. But if you want a nice flush, see how it kind of bounces off? But when you get into the face, it sticks. All right, let's try those 70s. Ding, 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 ding. No, let's try right. That's 62. Let's try overhand right again. 62 again. 58. Let's try one of those kiss of death. Oh, I missed. That looks silly. Okay. Oh, that was horrible. No, it's 60. Shit. Alright. So, we're going to tap across. 49. Let's try the back of the ear. 60. Let's try a chest power punch. I'm going to try to come down. No, I'll try straight first, then I'll come down, then I'll go higher. 52. Alright, now coming down. 52. Alright, now let's try a chest. 52.97. I mean, I'm not using form, I'm just trying to give it as much velocity and damage. I don't know. Kind of varies. They're still working out bugs, but my tips, takeaways, and advice for all newbies to Thrill of the Fight number 2. Let's go back to the gym real quick here. And 24 and 13. Okay, I've only been playing for 5 days now. This is my 5th day. I was sore the 2nd day. Now, it's good. Tips of the day, calibrate properly. Not just your height, but your arms. And make sure the controllers are seated right when you do it. Okay? Angle your knuckles into the opponent. Jawline, behind the ear, top of the chest downward, through the body. Don't pull your punches unless you're a in and out artist. You can get 30s, 40s, some 50s. Don't always hook. You're just going to wear yourself out. Know where your hitbox is at. Know the different delays. So say I wanted to find a match or whatever. It'll tell you the milliseconds. I don't want a match right now. It'll tell you the milliseconds delay between your fight. And you'll notice glitches during the fight too. So when that happens, don't rage quit because it will count as a loss on your record. It will count as a loss. And you will have fights where you'll have spammers that are just hoosh, gagoosh, gagoosh, and you will lose to that. It's frustrating, but it's part of it right now as an early access model. And Thrill of the Fight, if you want to sponsor me, Rambo Rob. Okay, so 24, 13, 1. I did the old Grok thing and calculated like pros records and then VR record. What would be the difference between VR? Because you're still using your body and your movement and your skill. Did the calculations, and in 5 days, a 24 and 13 and 1 record is like top notch for, especially for my age. I even calculated age, body type, eating habits, health, all that. And do not be disappointed if you get some losses. There's kids out there, there's cheats out there, there's legitimate badasses out there. And there's going to be more, especially when they discover this perfection of, I mean, where else can you go? Hard day work, you come in, you're like, ooh, my boss, ooh, Chuck Schumer, and you're like, oh, you just, ooh, baboosh, and you get in the ring and you just see a little character, it looks like Chuck, or it looks like your boss, and you're just like, ha ha, baboosh, baboosh. Best stress and exercise, cardio exercise ever. And you will be tired your first couple days. You will be sore. It is growing pains. It is part of the exercise and getting in a shape process, especially fighting shape, because you'll be surprised of how immersive and realistic this can be when utilized properly, for a training aid at least. I mean, you're not going to feel the punches, but you do feel the vibration in the controller. You do get the satisfaction of the baboosh. And when they hit you, you legitimately give pause and need to regroup and back up. So it's got all of the ingredients and all of the, the proper components to be something special, to be something that will give people around the world a reason to get in shape, a reason to become more, we've become soft as a society. In America especially, we've foregone all of the values that made America great in the beginning. All of these values of whenever times are hard or somebody does you wrong, you don't go out and just poison them or murder their family. You look them in the face and you punch them in the mouth, and then you pick them up, and then you figure that shit out. We're America. If you want to see more content like this, if you want to see me get in there and Rambo the hell out on these people, ooh, baboosh. Win, lose, or draw, I'll let you see it. I don't care. I'm not ashamed to lose. It's part of learning. It's a part of growing. And it's a part of getting better. So with that said, top takeaways: calibrate, calibrate, calibrate. Open space so you can walk around. I wouldn't recommend thumbsticks. I guess you can get used to it, but you could tell the difference between the players. If they glide their thumbstick, if they move around and they bob weave, then they're probably open space. You see a lot of these VR gurus on there, like showing videos and everything, but honestly, I mean, there's a couple of them with some actual legitimate skill, like legitimate. But then there's some of them that are like getting in there and like, I'm a karate champion from the West 13th bout of 1962 and been since until now. And you're like, okay, then why aren't you doing damage? Because you're trying to do what you think is right in reality. And you do that. But you have to enhance that to apply it here. So whatever in reality kind of punch you would do out of natural instinct or reflection. So like say you get hit and you just flick your hand out of instinct, right? You got to translate that into a virtual aspect. So you got to be more precise with your punches. Utilize your, I mean, this is an algorithm. It's a software program. It's reading the way you move. It's calibrating your height and hit boxes. And it's all a program running. So you have to follow the program rules while putting to use what you know in the real world. So applying hip rotation, applying proper form, applying the right knuckle spacing behind there. All of this has been taken into account. Thrill of the Fight 1, you could just tee off. Pop, 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 beep, beep, beep. I mean, I was in there doing Jeet Kune Do, like going in there blocking and coming up with all this. Just come up with your style. Perfect your style. Add different things in as you learn. But always remember, push through your targets. It's been Rob Rambo. If you want to box me, comment down below. I'll give you my handle. We can box. Please comment, like, subscribe. It's going to help. I'll have political content and I'll have boom, Thrill of the Fight 2, baby. Thanks for watching. Peace.